with this high complexity computer that has been created for our sustainability and ability to survive with the fight or flight and, so forth, and that we are pulsing, our aura or whatever, our chi, whatever you think it is, and that when I touch Adam, I am momentarily connected to his particles, and that particle, depending on the consciousness and the time that we've spent together, I'm forever linked to Adam. He is my brother. And we have had fellowship together, and we are disciples in our experience of the world. Same can be said for which I just met you, but I feel like if our friendship goes on, that is what leads to also me having a connection to you. But those particles, I could go all the way across to the other side of the country, and my connection to Adam is still going to be there. Faintly, that string is going to be stretched out. But like if something happens, I know in my gut, I have, my brain creates a release that lets me know somehow, like I need to call Adam right now, and then I call Adam and he's like, dude, something's up, or, vice versa. He'll call me, like I could be, getting ready to do something that is life changing and not for the good. And I get a ring from my friend, this can be said for anybody, but this has happened with me, with him, like, and I pick up that phone or just see that he's calling, like, dang, I don't need to be doing whatever I'm getting ready to do. Or, it could be the other way around. It's like, oh, this is the sign. I need, the phone will ring and then it'll just click off one ring. And it's like, got to keep moving forward, stuff like that, but I feel like that is the consciously being aware of the physical connection to the particle world.
Well, I've read a lot of philosophical authors, philosophical programs like that, as well as theoretical physics. And to me, none of it explains anything.
Yeah.
Only thing that explains to me is you have a consciousness, how it came to be,
how you perceive it.
It's like how you use it. There's a thing called pure science and there's a thing called applied science. Okay, I studied both, and pure science is interesting. Okay, but it doesn't show you how to live your life. When you get an applied science, now how you use this stuff. Okay, how you use consciousness. Okay, well you can say string theory here. Well, what our physics teacher told us is that everything I'm teaching you today at 10 years will be out there.
Yeah.
Change. So we have about a different concept of it. Okay?
Yeah.
But to me, consciousness is forever.
Yeah.
Okay, now if you take a look at in the Bible, they talk about Elohim, talk about Yahweh, Jehovah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, those are descriptions that people. Those are descriptions other people have given God. God doesn't serve. He doesn't call himself that.
No.
Okay. What God says is, he said, when Moses was on the mountain, he says, who do I say has sent? He says, I am.
Yeah.
So the only description God has given himself is I am.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I am consciousness. Okay. I am Megan. I am, I am whoever you have to be. Okay. You're defining yourself, and then all the thoughts and things like that come to you. How that happens, I don't know. But to me, it's applied science. Now, like you're talking about giving some kind of message. Megan's aunt Gail, she had skin cancer when she was, lip cancer, I guess, when she was fairly young, and she thought she had it cured. But when she got in her 30s, it came back. And she was in a really bad way. We went up to see her, and she was really frail. We came back home, and I went up to the store to get some feed for the ducks. And as I was coming down the hill, Gail's voice was in the center of my head. I mean, I recognized her voice. Pure, simple, right in my head. It said, is it okay if I go? It was definitely her voice. I looked at my clock, my watch, it was 10:32. Okay. I said, yes. I answered out loud, yes, you can go. Okay. Well, I went home, I was mowing the grass, and then Lynn, Megan's mom, came running out. She was crying. She said, Stan, I got some news for you. I said, yeah, I know your sister died at 10:30, 10:32. What? Who called you? No one did. So I told her the message that I got. She said, well, why didn't you call me? Well, you don't believe in stuff. She reached out to me because I believe in it. Okay, you have to be receptive to things. Now you talk about quantum physics. The way the brain is, you have a quantum brain. Okay, that's how you can receive messages. So you have a quantum receiver. So anything, thoughts and stuff that come to you, if you're receptive to it. If you're not receptive to it, you're not going to get anything. So, what else can I say? Try the sleep experiment. That's the kind of thing you think can't possibly work, but it does work. Try the procrastination experiment. Like I said, I didn't tell you that yet. Procrastination experiment is
Procrastinating.
okay. Have you ever had something you needed to do, didn't want to do it? Everybody, right? But here's the cure for that. It works 100% of the time. It works for me, it works for everybody I've told it to. Remember what I said before is you can't do anything without thinking about it first. All success is just for the best one. So what you do, if something you need to do, don't want to do it, sit down, relax, close your eyes, just imagine yourself doing it and imagine that you're enjoying it. And I'll guarantee, because it works 100% of the time, I've never had fail, that when I applied this, 15 to 20 minutes of doing that, you'll be up doing that activity and you'll be enjoying it and you'll be dusting your hands off saying, hey, that wasn't so bad. Just try it. Just try that.
Okay.
Something that you, if there's something that you need to do, but you don't want to do it, just sit down and relax and imagine yourself doing it. Imagine yourself enjoying it. 15 to 20 minutes of doing that activity, you'll be up doing it. Guaranteed. Works 90% of the time.
Instead of reading the books, now I'm gonna go, the answer's gonna come. Just listen to your way.
Well, see, that doesn't work
I
either.
know. Wouldn't that be great? I don't have to read any books. Well, that's right. Sleep on them.
Yeah,
I'll try that.
after several of my adventures, I came up with a process that's worked for me. And I went back and read some of the other great inventors as well. And they do the same thing. They use different words, but mine was to create. The T is you have to be solving the problem. If you've got no problem, you're never going to get an answer.
Right.
You have to have a problem that's worth solving. You're trying to solve it. The first one, the T, is you're trying as much as you can. Okay. And the O is for obvious. When you get the answer, it's obvious. Okay. Just like when I solved that problem with Siemens over the India thing. The people said, well, that was obvious. You worked on it for 3 months. You didn't come up with it. They said, well, it must have been obvious, but you only took an hour to solve it. And it was an obvious because when I told them the answer to what solve all their problems, said, well, that was obvious. Yeah. Okay. You have to be working on it. You have to be trying to solve a problem. When it comes to you, it's an obvious solution. You don't have to work on it. It's just obvious. This is what you need to do. The C is let's see what we say. Let's see here. I think it's good. Continuous. It's just like you have to. It has to be part of what you. I don't think it's. I see what R is not. The answer is not coming when you relax. Okay. Normally, it's going to. You're working on a problem. It's going to come to you when you're doing something else. You're not thinking about the problem because when you're concentrating, it's, I can't solve this problem. Not solve this problem. It doesn't come to you. It hasn't me, and it doesn't come to all great inventors either. It's like when you relax. It's okay. I turned it over to my internal person, and you relax, and it comes to you.
Hello, self.
And then A is when you get the answer, you want to get into action. You can't just sit still because you've been working on this problem. You're going to go into action. That's the A. And then, so that's CREA. And then T is you want to tell somebody. It's so exciting when it happens to you. Okay. You just want to tell somebody. And the E is you're going to have all the energy necessary to get the thing done.
What?
All the energy you need to get the thing done. Okay. And then enthusiasm, all kinds of stuff. It just seems to be at work. Now, I had some friends who said that they were agnostics. They don't believe in God. Well, you prove it to me. And I've had some friends who are atheists. They don't believe in God at all. It's like you're crazy. It's a Santa Claus fairy tale. Okay. So what I tell them to do, go to Philippians chapter 4, verses 8 and 9. And if you do that, I'll guarantee God will reveal himself to you. I'll guarantee it. Because I've done it myself. And I know the people who've done it. I'll guarantee it. Philippians chapter 4, verse 8 and 9, which is basically saying, it's basically positive thinking kind of thing, but more of a spiritual thing. Well, what I got out of this is that you do this for some period of time. The message I got, you need to do it for at least 4 seasons. Could take up to a year before God visits you. Okay. But for me, I started in October doing this. And I went to work an hour before I had to be there. I went to the graveyard, which is opposite the building. And I sit there, I'd read maybe 20 minutes of something that really made me feel good. I was doing reading. And then I just look around and say, wow, the grass is so green, so beautiful. The dog barking in the distance. I don't know who you are, but I really appreciate you barking over there. You're taking care of somebody. Boy, the birds in the trees, they sound great. So you just say all the wonderful things. This is just absolutely wonderful. Okay. I started to do this every work day before I went to work. And starting in October, and in April, I was driving to work. It's a beautiful sunny day. I was driving to work in the trooper, okay, and I was out of my body. Literally, it's just like I wasn't there anymore. Driving down the road, and I felt that was in every cell, every leaf in the whole hill. Every grain of sand. It's like I could feel it, and I felt that I knew everything that's ever happened in history, everything that's happening right now, everything that would happen in the future. It all just came to me all at once. Okay. And the message I got is, you are greatly loved. You will never die. And there were several other things that message I got was clear as a bell. I mean, the message I got. Okay. And then you just surrounded with this sense of love. You just can't even imagine. It's not like romantic love. It's not love for your children. It's just something completely just permeates it just permeates your whole body. Okay. And so then next thing I know, I was driving down the road again. I said, what the heck was that? Okay. And so I get to work, telling some of my friends about it. Oh, you just had a seizure.
When you manage to keep your wheels.
But it's the kind of
I
thing.
did that for 4 hours once.
Really?
Yeah. And ended up waking up. That's what I thought. I thought I had a seizure, but I managed to drive through a rainstorm and an 8-lane traffic road. And
But you felt the presence of God within you?
oh, well, I felt a legion of demonic presence, and then I was freed by, and the only thing that I could explain being an archangel or the Lord, waking me up. And then that's when I just completely changed my life. But yeah.
It's like they say that Satan gets more people to church than God.
Well, yeah, when you get so low, you're like, I don't want to be in that pit.
But it's like I have never believed in Satan. I've never believed in the devil. I just have never had that experience. I've never been able to believe, never came to any kind of logical understanding of how that could possibly be. Because God created everything. He wouldn't create something that would count on him. Okay. So it's got to be another explanation. And you hear a lot of people talking about faith. You just have to have faith. You just have to believe. And when I said no, you have to know. Okay. If you know that, if I say what's 2 + 2, you know the answer. Okay. But because you know it, you don't have to believe it's 4. You don't have to know it. You don't have to have faith it's 4. You believe it.
I feel like the devil, all the different names, the dark energy is what the mainframe for the matrix that we're living in is. It's what God, it's pre the tree of knowledge that before we became the multitude. It was we were in a heavenly, prepared place for us, with no sin, no shame, nothing, it was all butterflies and rainbows. And then we ate from the tree of knowledge and became part of the matrix, if that's what we're going to call her here. And then we were perceiving all these things that, they weren't intended for us to see, but, that's when free will was brought in. And then now we have come to the conundrum of being trapped in a free will situation, which is more or less a hell, because we are unable to successfully transcend to the heavenly place in an easy manner, because we are so confused by the convoluted world.
Yes, yeah. I've understood all that. I've read all that kind of stuff. It's like, that just passes me. It's like, to me, it's like everything goes simple. It's consciousness. I had a friend, Richard Young. He he was raised as Catholic, but he got a divorce from his first wife, so they kicked him out of church. He can't divorce. As he got older, he said, God, I want to go to heaven. He used to have a conversation with me. I have these kind of conversations about this. He said, I want to go to heaven. He said, I'm going to have to get back in the church. Okay. I said, Richard, why are you going to do that? He said, I need to get back in the church. So he talked to the church, and they said if he gave them $10,000. And see, Richard he was a registrar at UTSU. He didn't make a whole lot of money. He said he ran out of money before he ran out of money before he ran out of money. Okay. And Marta didn't work at the time. So he borrowed $10,000 and gave to the church, which then eventually led to their divorce. Okay. But he said, I want to go to heaven. I said, Richard, number one is you go to heaven every night. When you go to sleep, you're in heaven. That's what heaven is. If you have a nightmare, that's your hell. If you have a good dream, that's your heaven. But you're going to heaven every night. Every insect goes to heaven every night. Maybe sharks don't. I don't know. They say sharks don't sleep, but you go to sleep, you're going to heaven. Okay, that's what heaven is.
No.
They gotta have some.
Jellyfish don't sleep either.
Anyway, it's like if you go to sleep at night, that's what heaven is. Because if God is consciousness, then when you go to sleep at night, you go into a state of consciousness. You don't know you have a body. Just like when you die, you don't know you have a body either. So when you die, you have all these people who have these near-death experiences, and they come back and say it's basically just a dream. Okay, some people have lucid dreams where they remember everything that's going on in the environment, kind of stuff, but it's just like a dream. Okay, and some people believe that
my near-death experience wasn't like a dream. It was impactful and terrifying when I came back. But I definitely saw people that were in my family. That's just the feeling that I got. And then the bright light and the crystal bodies and the faces that were like the sun, and just complete, it was just a bath of light and warmth, acceptance, and people, and then it was like, you have to go back. When I was 9 years old, and then I was on this cold table, terrified. But that was, and screaming, I want to go back, I want to go back, I want to go back, I don't want to be here, and that was what terrified me, because I was back in the tangible world,
so.
I've not had a dream like that before, where I was, I'm not to say that I couldn't, I'm not saying I want to have that dream tonight, and that might be revealed to me. I really hadn't thought about that.
But for me, every time you go to night, so I said, Richard, just go sleep. You're there. You don't have to worry about getting $10,000 to go to heaven, but you're already there. If God is consciousness, then there, you have consciousness as well. Okay. Now we were talking before about Yahweh, Jehovah. If you look back in the ancient text, what you see, the name, they always say, when I was growing up, they said you could never say the name of God because it's almost like blasphemy. That's what we were told. You just never say the name of God. Well, you don't say the name of God because it's all syllables. okay? And so if you take a look at the actual word, it's 4 symbols. The first symbol is a hand, which is like, if you look at the old, really old text, the word for God, Yahweh, or Jehovah, it's a hand. Then the second one is an eye. It's like an eye. The third one is a nail, and the last one is an eye. Okay, and what the interpretation of all that is there's a director over everything, the hand that guides everything, and your eye is your inner eye, what you see, your imagination. Okay, and the nail is it fixes. Nail holds things together, bonds things together. Okay, so it bonds your imagination with what you see in reality. So that's the initial name of God. Right.
Danny,
Yeah,
can you see that?
yeah. Oh, shoot. Go girl. Booyah. Is that what you were jumping up for?
Einstein said that imagination is more important than knowledge because knowledge is limited, imagination is not. So all the things that we're going to be doing here with the telekinesis, it's using your imagination. Oh, do you have that hand thing for Megan? The gift? Could you get it? There's a gift for Megan.
But that's backwards.
Yeah.
It's backwards.
Jehovah.
It's backwards. So Jehovah and Yahweh, it's different periods of time. It's the same symbol, but different sounds from different.
This possibly predates written
Yeah.
text when we were using, a more primitive
Hieroglyphics,
Yeah.
pictographs.
Also, like in a similar fashion, how at the time after the Dark Ages or whatever the time when Da Vinci was using sacred imaging and artistic masterpieces to bring people to Christ and Christ consciousness. The lobe over the head and the baby Jesus with the lobe, and even the great image of the sitting Buddha and the rainbow light body around him and projecting where.
Oh, so this is something I got from Megan.
I love it.
You want to open it up? This is one of the experiments we're going to be doing. Yeah, be careful, it's falls off. Some of the experiments you're going to be doing, you're going to be moving things. But a lot of people say, well, you're blowing at it, or you're hitting the table. Okay, so this is basically a hand. If you do here, you put like a second glue or something in there, a little paper glue, or what you do is
Put what in there?
Paper?
Paper wheel.
paper
A
glue.
paper wheel.
What's that?
Oh, so we can spin it with our mind.
Or the other thing you do too is you put like a little cup of water here, a small little cup of water, and you put just from the surface tension, you put a
It's like
little on,
Oh, yeah.
and then
It's like a little, yeah, a little aquarium,
in your mind, you're trying to get your
an air aquarium. And then-
No, no. Yeah. Be careful with yourself out. But what we want to do is just say, eventually what we're going to do is get this part here, we'll get something to move, but we can't, it's not going to be affected by airflow. It's not going to be affected by anything.
So it's a controlled area where people can take that out of your mind that this is, muscle memory or so forth.
Well, pendulum, have you used pendulum before?
Yeah.
Okay, well, pendulum, actually, when you're using a pendulum, your fingers have micro movement. Have you used a pendulum before?
No.
Well, if you look at this person's fingers, they'll swear they're not doing it. Okay, they're just saying, okay, yes or no, or whatever, asking questions. You're thinking that, but you have this micro movements of your fingers. okay, and it goes the way that you think. Okay, if you're saying yes, it's gonna move yes. But what you're trying to do with the pendulum is clear your mind. You don't want to have a yes or no in your head. It has to be perfectly clear. Otherwise, you're tainting the results of it. You say, well, I won $1 million today. Yes, okay, good.
Yeah, this is eliminating the error of movement.
Well, the other thing too is that part of the pendulum here, because you're touching something like that, you have, even though you swear you're not, someone else can look at your fingers and see if they're moving. Okay,
Sure.
but you swear you're not.
And that's consciously affecting it also.
Yeah, it'd be consciously or unconsciously.
Yeah.
affecting it. Okay, so if you clear your mind completely and you're not thinking of the answer, then it'll still move. Okay, but the first experiments, you hang the pendulum on a nail.
Mhm.
Now get it to move. You're not touching it. You're not blowing on it. Maybe you have your hands close by trying to get it to move whatever, but you're not touching. That's one of the first things. First things work you do is work with the pendulum to show that you can get things to move, your body can get things to move. Okay. Okay, everyone just stand up a little bit. I'll show you how to do it. Inverted pendulum. Okay, put your feet shoulder width, hands down to your side. There's several things you can do for this here. If you have a yes or no question, if you think the word yes, you're going to first you need to program yourself. So when you think the word yes or say the word yes, you're going to move forward. Okay, so you just try that. Just say yes and then move forward. Yes. Okay, now go back to the neutral position. Say no, find yourself leaning backwards.
No.
Okay, now once you program yourself, this is how easy it is. You just program yourself. Now think of the question that you need to have an answer to. Maybe you know the answer. Okay. Say, my name is such and such. Give the wrong name or give your right name. And see if you come up with the right response. Just ask yourself a question that you know the answer to. See if you move in the right direction.
Yeah, I know about this one.
Okay, now you can do this here. These are yes or no type things. Now, if you have, or if you say, if you have two choices, you say, I have a choice to do this or I have a choice to do that. You say, okay, if I'm going to do this one, I'm going to move forward. If I'm going to do this one, I'm going to move backward. You can program it that way too, not just yes or no.
Mm-hmm.
If you have four things that you need to do, then what you can do is say, okay, this means one choice, backwards means one choice, leaning to the left is a choice, and leaning to the right is a choice. Okay, so you have like four choices to make.
Mm-hmm.
And if you need more than that, say you need 8, you can find yourself in a diagonal, just like with the pendulum.
Mm-hmm.
For the pendulum, you can do yes or no, maybe, and you go in circles or something like that as well. But you can do the same thing with your body. Yeah, well, so
Because you will not be able to lean to the right and to the left.
I'm kind of laughing because like when I first started channeling, like my body would move and I was like, I'm a human pendulum.
yeah,
Because my body was just being moved by spirit, but I was getting the answer. And I just think it's funny that you were saying that. I was remembering.
yeah. Okay, but that's basically it.
See, you've been doing it for even longer, girlfriend.
Well, I learned, no, I'm just saying that your body can be programmed to be a pendulum. I just clicked with that.
Yeah, you can, because you have this biocomputer, you can get to do anything you want to, just program yourself, because your brain is very plastic. Okay, it can do anything that you want to do. You just have to tell what you expect, and then it'll do that for you. Okay, so that's why I say just be very careful when you talk to yourself.
And Megan, wasn't that our message for the last 2 weeks?
That's
Wasn't
right.
that?
Yeah, we
I
gotta
was like-
look in the mirror and we gotta say these positive things about ourselves.
Yes. You call yourself, it's better to call yourself sexy than call yourself stupid.
Yeah, don't ever say call yourself stupid, because your biocomputer won't let that happen.
Right.
It will. Now, I told this to
That's my girl.
I told this to a high school, the pendulum standing up one time, a high school student. He goes, okay, he got in front of the class. I said, I need a volunteer to come in front of the class. And I said, this is how you program yourself. So he was up there and I said, ask yourself a question to yourself. Don't tell us what the answer is. And so he was there and he started leaning backwards. He almost fell down. And I said, okay, what was your question? Well, I asked, is my mother always right? And no. My mother says she's always right. I said, take that up to your mother. So anyway, basically tonight was just to say that you have more power in you than you know of.
Right.
Learn to use this part of you who is 10,000 times smarter than you. And you don't have to solve all these problems. Okay, this didn't bend you. I didn't know how to solve the problem. I had no connection to it whatsoever. The answer came. And I had many of those same type things. So I was not only an engineer, but I was also called a consulting engineer. So whenever they had a problem with finances or technical issue, they'd call me and say, hey, I know you don't know about this, but could you help a hand here? It's like one time they had a project, they had to get out very quickly. And they had a show in May that they had to meet for some kind of consumer show. And the engineering process, they weren't going to have it until like September, October. And they're going to have like almost $1 million budget to do this project. And so the engineer, the managing engineer said, Stan, it's going to take too long, for cost too much money. What can you do? Can you give me a proposal? And he talked to me during lunchtime. Okay, I said, fine, I'll give you something. So he came back an hour later and said, here, I can have it in 8 weeks, and it costs you $5,000 for the same functionality that you're talking about. He goes, no way. And he said, you sure about that? I said, 8 weeks, I can have it. Everything that you told me about. I got the napkin, it's a napkin from the lunchtime, okay? This is what you told me, right? This is everything I need to know, right? Yeah. I said, 8 weeks, I can do it. And he said, okay, come with me. So we went to the site manager. Stan says he can do it in 8 weeks. And so the site manager said, give him enough rope to hang himself. It's not possible. 8 weeks I had it. Okay. Now, another time, it's like they were going to cancel a project. They had already invested a lot of money in it. They had a brand new student or engineer came out of school, hotshot. Okay. He was working in our design group. They have an engineering group. No, we had our design group design microchips. Okay. Well, they had him come over to the microchip design. And when you run the microchips, the design process is totally different. Because when you have a big board design, you can be sloppy a little bit. Okay, because you have enough resistance and capacitance to mask things. But when you get into the small ones, it's like picoseconds. You've got a little glitch, it catches it. Whereas in a big board, you'll never see it. Well, he came back, he was working on this project, and they were having a meeting that they're going to have to scrap all the work that they had done. Because this one part this engineer was doing was critical to the whole success of the whole program. So they were going to cancel it. They had already invested all this money. So my supervisor came to me and said, Stan, they're going to cancel this project. Can you go in there and just see what's going on? See what you can do. And I said, okay. So I went and sat down. I was sitting maybe 10 minutes. It was after lunch. And I said, okay, all positions, we're just going to have to cancel this project. And my supervisor said, Stan has something to say. I've been sitting down for 10 minutes trying to figure out what's going on here. Okay? He said, Stan has something to say. Out of my mouth came, I haven't done it in 2 weeks. And they were going to cancel it because it was not possible to do it. It came out of my mouth. I don't know where it came from. So the first week, I just sat at my desk. I'm going to do this. Okay? Because whenever I have this kind of things, it's never failed. It always works. Okay? And so for first week, I just meditated. I didn't do a thing. Didn't take a pencil off the whole week. So my supervisor said, man, I took a chance on you. He said, don't let me down. I said, have I ever? Well, and the following week, I did all the work and we shipped the product. Okay. Now, it's not me. People call me genius. People call me Mr. Impossible, but everybody in here can do the same thing. You just have to realize that you have inside you this biocomputer is 10,000 times smarter than you think you are. And you have to have a problem to solve. If you want to go home and sit on the couch all night, you're not going to solve anything. You have to have something that you earnestly want to solve, and you'll find that you're capable of doing it. But learn how to use that psychic ability. This whole thing with the telekinesis, that's really developing your psychic ability. That's really all it is. Okay,
So one question, since Jennifer doesn't have as much experience with the pendulum, and so she's gonna go home, she's got one, so what's something that you can give her so she can have at home when she's practicing?
well, pick one up,
She's got one.
okay? Just hold still, don't move it. Now. Okay, yep. Okay, now, physically move it front back.
Physically?
Say, this means yes. Now you're programming the pendulum. This means yes. Okay, now stop it. Physically. Now move it from side to side. This means no. Okay, now stop it again. Circle it in a clockwise fashion. This means maybe. Okay, stop it. That's counterclockwise mode. Counterclockwise. This means I can't tell you. Okay, there's other things you program there too, okay? Now, so ask yourself a question. You say, is my name Jennifer?
It's my name Jennifer. My name is Jennifer.
This practice.
Okay.
What you're trying to do is you have a relationship with the family. What you're doing is
Your hand doesn't look like it was shaking, though, did it?
I'm not nervous.
Well, maybe, because that is a micro movement, or that is not fully,
Tuned to me.
well, pushed through. Whenever you were moving it, I tried to stop it completely. I said, stop completely. For real, I was. I really did. But I want you to be able to do
I
it.
program my pendulum to be, when I program my pendulum to say, I can't tell you. The only time I've ever got, I can't tell you, is I asked the question, is there a God? And he says, I can't tell you. And so he says, I can't tell you. Okay, it's what my pendulum told me.
Well, your brain's not gonna tell you that.
Wait a minute. I said, he says, I said, is there a God? This is, I can't tell you. So I asked a whole bunch of further questions, and what came out was, if you believe there's a God, you'll see God in everything. If you believe there's no God, you'll see God in nothing.
Mhm.
So that's the answer I got.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, we'll start next week. We'll start actually doing some work with the pendulum. So good. The practice on that. You know how to use the pendulum.
My microphone was muted earlier. Sorry. I was trying to tell Jennifer, is that her name?
Yes.
Pendulum. I didn't realize I was muted, but like when I use my pendulum, I like to like hold my palm, like use my energy, like my palm here. And then I always say, would you like to work with me today? And then it'll start moving, if you know what I mean, when my spirit guides start coming through. And then I usually say, okay, stop. Okay. And then I'll start asking my questions, but I like to have my hand underneath. I think that helps with the energy.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but that's also a good point too, because sometimes the pendulum doesn't seem to work for you. So you might ask the question, is it okay to ask questions today?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
That'll be good practice, and it'll be better too, first trying
Yeah,
out
yeah, what you're trying-
eyes on you, and your partner beside you saying stop.
There you go.
Thank you for attending the first telekinesis class.
Sorry, I didn't mean to like interrupt him. But I couldn't guess. Like, raise your hand. Oh, you know what? They do have that thing here where you can raise your hand, right? In the Zoom calls.
Less than 1 minute.
So we'll talk later.
Okay, but yes.
I
Thank
forgot
you.
about that. I'm sorry.
No, love you.
All
Thank
right,
you.
Uncle Stanley, that was an amazing class. I am so excited. You covered so much. That was amazing. Thank you. I can't wait till next week. Hey. Adam, I'm still waiting on you to call me.
Yeah, I know, we gotta do some, yeah,
Sound back.
sound back.
Yes, I'm ready. I want it. Yes. I don't know what I'm doing. We can learn together.
Yeah, definitely.
Grandson, got you.
Who's about
All right, I'm gonna hop off here. Great